So Lauren, it's June. It's June already.
6 months through the year. I can't believe it.
We just had Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
Hope you had a great one.
Great weekend.
Yep. I hope
Same
you
for
had a
you.
great weekend. We hope you enjoyed a great long weekend with family and friends. Thank you to all those who have served. Lauren has had family members serve, as have I. My grandfather served in the Korean War, and my mom served in the Air Force as well. I actually lived abroad for 1 year. I actually lived in Okinawa, Japan.
There it is.
Did you know that?
Little tidbit.
You knew that, but maybe you didn't.
Yeah, maybe you didn't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we hope you had a great holiday weekend. Welcome to your June edition of our 4Thought newsletter, and it gets the name because we put 4 links that we think are noteworthy and interesting.
We
Please,
hope make you think.
yeah,
Yes,
we
that's
hope
the
make you
point.
think, and they may not be stories that you might not otherwise be aware of, or they might not be covered as widely or broadly in other media outlets that we want you to kind of be aware of. Then we wrote an article on strategy and more specifically tactics around clients that we're working with that have equity compensation, such as RSUs and ISOs. So please check that out. And if that's you, and we haven't talked to you, we want to help you understand the tactics involved and understand how to reduce concentration risk and diversify. And let's say you knew someone who just got a new position and they have RSUs, ISOs, and their strategy would be, hey, I want to take advantage of this to the highest efficiency. I want to use this to my advantage. I want to diversify, but how do I go about doing it? So we wrote a little bit about that, and that's something we've been able to help a lot of people with. And then thinking about strategy and the tactics that we used to implement a strategy.
Yeah.
Making sure that those two things are lined up, properly aligned. It just kind of made us think, okay, well then when we shoot the video and we talk to you this month, that's something we can spend time talking.
Yeah, and it got me thinking. I know you hear it a lot, strategy and tactics, but for me, and I hope this isn't too elementary, I like to kind of get those defined. So when you are talking to somebody about strategy, how do you explain it to them?
Yep. So I would say strategy is more the what or the why. That's what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, you got to get to the why.
And then we always say get to the why, right? And the tactic would be the how.
How are you doing
So
it?
how are you going to do that? What, as you said earlier to me when we were talking about this, would be what tool are you using and when are you using it? So make sure you're using the right tool and at the right time.
Yeah, I know an analogy I've heard many times. Hopefully, it's not too trite, but maybe you've heard it is. And we just talked about Memorial Day. I know Nathan and I both took trips to visit friends and family. So the analogy always is, what's the strategy when you take a trip, getting somewhere, right, safely on time? And then what's the tactic that you use to get there? So the tactic would be, what vehicle am I going to use to get to my destination?
Not your motorcycle.
Not my motorcycle. I want it to be the motorcycle, but it's not the motorcycle, right? So I take the car, or I take the SUV, and then am I going to take the turnpike, or am I going to take Route 51? Those tactics, right? One's going to be better than the other depending upon what I'm trying to achieve. If I'm trying to delay getting somewhere, I'll take Route 51. If I want to get there as fast as possible, then I'll take the turnpike. So I know because we've done it too. A lot of the talking heads that are out there, media, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere. People are talking about financial tactics all the time, right? It's kind of sexy. Here's a hot tip.
You gotta have something sexy out there. You gotta have something that's gonna grab someone's attention.
You're gonna grab someone's attention. It's unfortunate because a lot of times those tactics aren't applicable to the people, which is logical, right? If you're broadcasting out to millions and millions of people, does that tactic apply to all of them? No. So Nathan and I, we've talked a lot about Roth conversions. I think you've heard a lot about Roth conversions, and that's a tactic. And I think there's a good time to apply that, and then there's a not so good time to apply that. And I know we were talking about it earlier.
Sure.
So a good time to apply that tactic, you think, is when?
I'd say they're going through a period where they're going to have reduced income or reduced taxation. Their marginal brackets are going to be different in these years, perhaps leading up to the point where they're going to be now needing income from a portfolio. And you want to plan for that so that the income is more tax advantage.
That's right. So like maybe you have a working couple and then one person decides, either they're gonna work part-time, or they're gonna stay at home, or they're gonna do something different.
Sure.
And that decreases their income. So the strategy is, like you said, they want tax-free income in retirement. And the tactic is, well, a good time to do a Roth conversion, because you have to pay tax when you do Roth conversion.
Sure.
And you have to have money set aside to pay that tax, might be when that person is in a lower tax bracket.
Right.
Or another time someone's in a lower tax bracket is maybe they've retired, they haven't touched their IRA yet, they're not taking Social Security, so they're in a lower tax bracket.
Right.
That could be another golden window of opportunity.
Yeah, and I think the point we're trying to make with all these illustrations are just to say, you're gonna hear things, we hear things, we know that you hear, and read about certain tactics, and you say, oh, why aren't Lauren, Nathan, why aren't we doing this?
It's always me first.
And it's not, as though those tactics that you're hearing and reading about are poor or wrong, but they might not be right for you, or they might not be right for you at that appropriate time.
Yeah, but more importantly, when you do hear those, let us know. We
Yeah,
want to hear those, and let us know when you're going to make changes in your life, because as much as we try to stay in contact with our clients, you know what you have planned in the future, probably a little bit better than we do when it comes to those kind of changes.
Sure.
So definitely let us know about those things as much as possible. And then same.
And if you're around folks, we were just talking about Memorial Day, if you're around your friends, your family, your loved ones, and you know people that are saying to you, hey, I'm going to be starting a new career, I'm going to be retiring in this number of years, I want to have tax advantage income in retirement, I want to pay less taxes in my portfolio, etc. Those are great things to want, and those are strategies. And
Maybe they don't know the tactics to put them together.
correct.
So again, hopefully we can act as a resource, not just for you, but for your friends and family. And hopefully that's what we become kind of known for, is marrying those two things, strategy and tactic. So as always, thank you for watching the video. Time is all of our most valuable resource. We don't want to waste any of it. So if you did find this helpful, please feel free to share the video, or let us know who would like to see our video. We can add them to the newsletter, the subscriber list.
Absolutely.
And we say thank you again. We look forward to working with you forever.
Yeah. And we hope you have a great summer. June's the beginning of summer. A lot of people are going to be traveling, seeing their friends and family, loved ones. More of that happens in June, July, and August than I feel any other time of year. And so be safe, enjoy, and we look forward to the next time we get to talk to you.